customs. It was really interesting because they have these mountain gods there that they were showing, and they have these mountain god festivals, and it's mixed with Christianity. And the two festivals, the native Peruvian Indian festival from God knows how long back, is mixed with the overlay of the Christian festival. So the Peruvian native deity has been incorporated into the saint that a given church on this mountain has been dedicated to. And all the people from the city areas surrounding this area, Cusco and other places in Peru, this music starts going, this thunderous beating music that just never stops, and it's just pounding, 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 like for days and days and days and days on end. And then these people are coming up in huge processions, trucks, everything you can imagine, and going up to the mountain to pay homage to the mountain god. And actually, in the old days, they used to sacrifice people up there. And they've actually found cadavers of frozen sacrifices up on the mountain of people they banged on the head with a hammer or something and left them up there for the mountain god. And somehow, with all this, what I'm talking about, it's vividly illustrated how it's combined totally with Christianity, with the sacrifice of Christ on the cross and the sacrifices they did on the mountain. And the whole thing comes together in some bloody finale. It's quite frightening, actually. If you ever get a chance to see one of those festivals, I'm not saying you should find it entertaining. It's very illuminating. Yeah.
Is that the one where they take some of the men actually have themselves nailed to a cross?
I'm not sure if that was in it, but they actually did kill a few people up on the mountain. In fact, without, not officially, but some people ended up missing and dead and had been sacrificed.
On that same note of the History Channel, they had this, in some area, they actually have a few men that actually have themselves nailed to crosses in a representation of religious.
Yeah, well, I think that's part of the Passion of Christ deal, that you get widespread in certain people who take this really to heart and want to go through this ordeal themselves. But I don't know if that was related to the American Indian thing or not, but it may have been. Could have been. Again, anyone else have anything to contribute on that score? Okay, a few more things before we close this chapter. What about the pig? What function did the pig play aside from entertainment? Yeah, I don't know if he played a lot of point in it. I think it's another nature symbol, another totem animal, if you like, that you would get in primitive religions. The tribes would identify with animals. For some reason, animals were taken as, symbolizing or embodying either the spirit of the tribe or the people. We still do it in our nicknames for sports teams. Half the sports teams are animals because the team is trying to, embody the behavior or virtues or strengths of that animal. The bears, the eagles, the jack onto the movie for some reason. So it's very deep in the human psyche. That's why when Reagan had the movie Breakfast with Bonzo or something that launched him to the presidency, Singing with a Monkey, it really helped humanize him. Bush, as you notice, always carries that dog off the airplane to make him human. He said Clinton had a dog that he used to play with on the White House lawn. This is to humanize these people so you can identify with them. The animal humanizes. But in this particular animal, you have the point here. Was it you who made that point? What did you see in that?
He is the innocent sacrifice to the God.
Yeah, he was wounded by accident. Maybe he was going to be a sacrifice. Huh?
He was the innocent one. He wasn't part of the whole.
No, he wasn't part of the whole.
And that whoever it was, Coyote something or other, had said that we need to have a sacrifice.
Oh, is that right? Was that it? What I thought he meant Amarante that was going to be a sacrifice.
Probably, but in reality.
But he was saying you, what? What did you say?
Amarante was involved because he actually got it and tried to defend the eagle, but the pig wasn't. Therefore, the pig was innocent, and Amarante was somewhat pained.
Okay.
I think that it was totally Americanized by neither of the sacrifice died, which made it a feel-good movie rather than...
Right, it wasn't a Christian movie in that regard. We didn't get
Because in religion,
one man dying or one
of them
thing,
would have died.
or a pagan, one animal dying for the welfare of the whole
Sins of the
people.
whole.
So yeah, it makes a lot of good things in it, and I think they did a really good job. I don't know if I can think of anything else that stands out particularly. I'm sure there are one or two other things, but I don't know if I recall. Yeah.
I didn't understand the woman who's throwing the rocks and the pebbles. That
Oh, you got me. I don't even remember that scene. You have to.
Few scenes of her.
Throwing rocks and pebbles. Who was she throwing rocks and pebbles at?
People would walk down the street and the woman stood behind the rocks.
Really? I missed her entirely. I've never seen her. I guess I haven't seen her.
She threw rocks and Charlie didn't.
Really? She's throwing. Well, I know a lot of my students thought that all those guys with guns shooting in the air was a very familiar thing. Some people who I've had in the classes who are from similar cultural backgrounds say that just made them laugh because apparently they witnessed that in festivities that they've seen in their areas. People suddenly start shooting wildly up in the air. Any of you witnessed that kind of thing in the cultural environments from where you come from? Well, I've had a few students tell me that they have. They particularly liked that part of the movie, so it obviously spoke to them.
The guy at the end that rode when they were in the mountains, Save Joe, the guy that rode up on the horse,
Right.
what was that?
I don't know what that symbolized. I think that was just like someone who represented a local person who was fed up with everybody and just felt that the underdog should get a chance, but I don't know if it had any more symbolism. Yeah.
Well, I thought it was kind of weird because I thought he was the guy, because there were the two sheriffs that ran for the election, and the one guy won by, I think, 3 or 4 votes.
Yeah.
And, he was the one who was kind of more local and down with the people. The other guy who lost was more in with the government, trying to get the whole little building process started.
Right.
And in the end, it was kind of weird to see his character change from the guy who was working for the government to the guy who started helping
It
Joe
was
out
a good.
because
It was a good element.
he changed.
I thought it was
Exactly.
extremely.
That's who he
effective.
was.
Huh?
That's who he was, because she was just asking who he was. She just wanted to know.
Oh, I thought you
character-wise.
wanted to know what he symbolized.
Yeah, I don't know what he symbolized, but I know that's.
Yeah,
kind
no,
of
I thought it
who
was a
he
great
He
touch at the end. I mean, just because that's what some of those guys are like that. They just like sort of get fed up with everything and say, come on, let's just see this thing through. I'm enjoying watching this saga. I wouldn't want it to end. That was really. So there are things in this movie that are, to my mind, very attractive and insightful. So that particularly was one. But describe now. You were saying. There was an election between who? Now I'm really out in space. Explain that.
Well, what they were talking about was that they were making fun of the sheriff originally because I think
The sheriff who fell when he came down the hill.
correct, that guy, yeah, because they were
The
saying
guy?
they were talking about at one point, I think between him and Joe, there was a dialogue about how the sheriff had won. There was like the town election for the sheriff, and I think he had only won by. They're talking about.
And who did he
making fun of
beat?
him. He beat the other guy who ended up saving Joe at the very end. Shorty, exactly, yeah. So I think it was kind of cool to see Shorty.
So he was showing that both guys were fairly decent in the end, even though one guy seemed to be total establishment, but he wasn't in the end.
In the end, yeah, he kind of changed over.
He changed over from the local. He had local loyalties. That's a good point. Just generally speaking, sociologically, many of the problems that you see in America, I think, have to do with the fact that we have carpet-bagging policemen. I don't think that it's anything wrong with a person being a policeman or a fireman, and I'm happy people want to do those professions, but it seems to me it should be community-based. And I don't want to hurt anyone who is a policeman or fireman because I know their jobs are important to them, and often they have to find these jobs wherever they can find them. But honestly, for the good of the whole society, just speaking as an idealist, and that's what you're reminding me of, community-based policing would solve 3/4 of the problems that we're talking about, including the Iraq problem. If we had community-based policing in Iraq there, if we had anyone who had the guts to go in there and be a policeman and shoot it out with whoever needs to get the jobs, don't